The modern human brain spends most of its day navigating a constant barrage of environmental noise. Between digital alerts, endless decisions, and task switching, we default to a state of chronic reactive survival. This low-grade panic floods our system with cortisol and primes us for impulsivity. When the stress peaks, the standard human response is to attempt a massive, sweeping lifestyle overhaul. We declare new rigid daily schedules, commit to extreme diets, or swear off all digital devices. Biologically, these extreme attempts are difficult to maintain. The brain reflexively rejects sudden, massive cognitive shifts. The friction of trying to rewire dozens of neural pathways at once drains your cognitive energy, leading to burnout. Yet certain cultures maintain deep discipline and a stable emotional baseline without relying on these massive, forceful lifestyle shifts. Japan has developed a specific series of microscopic daily behaviors. These practices align with your own biological mechanisms that target the neural pathways responsible for stress and focus. True emotional control relies on the physical rewiring of your brain chemistry through tiny actions, making long-term discipline sustainable rather than a constant battle of willpower. The brain's reward system evaluates the distance between your effort and the payoff. When a finish line is too far away, the brain shuts down its dopamine production to conserve energy, prompting you to quit. To bypass this shutdown, the traditional Japanese practice of Kaizen focuses on pursuing continuous, microscopic improvements. Instead of aiming for a sudden overhaul, you aim to be 1% better at a single task. The neurological mechanism here is efficient. By shrinking the goal, the brain easily recognizes the effort and immediately processes the micro-progress as a completed task. This graph maps two distinct dopamine pathways over time. Chasing a distant, massive goal leaves you with a flat line of neurochemical inactivity. Conversely, completing tiny steps triggers a rising staircase sequence. Each micro-victory releases a dopamine hit, keeping the brain engaged. Without immediate rewards, the massive goal pathway drops into burnout, while the Kaizen approach generates steady upward momentum. Motivation operates as a manageable neurochemical state. By feeding your brain a diet of achievable micro-victories, you maintain continuous drive. Another common Japanese habit involves intentionally pausing to quietly observe a situation before speaking or making a move. This deliberate pause acts as a workout for the prefrontal cortex. It builds what psychologists call cognitive restraint, a mental buffer that helps mitigate impulsive emotional reactions. There is a physical counterpart to this mental buffer, known as dancery. This is the purposeful, methodical decluttering of your physical space. Physical clutter exacts a hidden biological cost. Every disorganized item in your peripheral vision registers as unfinished business, which correlates with an increase in cortisol levels. This visual shows how clutter interacts with your brain. This geometric block represents your finite working memory capacity. Visual disorganization acts like TV static, filling up the block until cognitive exhaustion sets in. Removing physical clutter reduces this visual noise, freeing up space in your working memory to process complex thoughts and breathe. Focus is improved by the proactive removal of the environmental noise that exhausts your cognitive load. Regulating the brain also requires calibrating the body. The Okinawan dietary practice of hara hachibu instructs individuals to stop eating when they feel roughly 80% full. This builds interoceptive awareness, the psychological skill of accurately detecting and listening to the body's subtle internal signals, such as the earliest signs of satiety. Listening to these subtle signals creates cascading biological benefits. It helps stabilize energy levels, limits emotional eating, and reduces digestive stress. You can expand this regulation to how you interact with the outside world through unhurried forest bathing, the practice of slowly walking through and observing nature. This animated seesaw illustrates the biological impact of just 10 minutes of nature observation. It triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the heavy side of the scale, which lowers the production of stress hormones on the other side. Emotional baseline stability is supported by physical reality, the specific quantities of our physical intake, and where we intentionally place our bodies in space. Continuous tiny improvement. Pausing to observe. Decluttering physical space. Eating to 80% capacity and observing nature. On the surface, these are microscopic adjustments to a daily routine. Collectively, they form a consistent neurological workout. Executing these behaviors helps optimize your dopamine pathways, manage your finite working memory, and suppress the production of stress hormones. The modern approach often attempts to force a calm mind through sheer willpower, a strategy that frequently clashes with your own biology. By changing these tiny, manageable physical inputs, you alter the neural pathways you use to navigate the world.